Hello, welcome back. In this video, we will learn about SQL Server database types. There are two types of database. One is the system databases and user-defined databases. System databases are the internal databases which are used by SQL Server itself. Without these databases, the SQL Server cannot function or cannot perform any operations. So that is internal to the system. The user-defined databases are the real-time project databases. Let's look at system databases. So there are four types of system databases: master database, model database, MSDB, TempDB. So the master database records all the system level information for a SQL Server system. It stores server level configurations, login information, and the information about other databases. So the main thing is it will keep the server level configurations and login information. The next one is the model database. It is used as a template for creating new databases. When you create a new database, SQL Server uses the model database as a blueprint for the new database. So whenever we create a database, there will be several other objects like the programming elements like store procedures, views. There will be so many things inside a database. So this particular model database will be used as a blueprint to replicate the new database. And the third one is MSDB. MSDB database is used to store information related to SQL Server agent, including jobs, schedules, alerts. So all those information will be stored in MSDB. And also like the database backups, restores, and maintenance plans. All this information will also be stored in this MSDB database. TempDB database. So the TempDB database is used to store temporary objects such as temporary tables, temporary store procedures, and other temporary user objects. Like when we create a CTE or a deriving query, the temporary results will be stored in the TempDB. So it is recreated every time a SQL server is restarted. So whenever we restart the SQL server, then it will be recreated. So let's look at how do we create the user-defined database. So this is the full command for creating a user-defined database. Whenever you create a user-defined database, there will be two files created in the backend. One is the MDF file, another is the LDF file. So the MDF file is called master data file, where the actual data, when you insert the data into SQL Server table, the data will be stored in this file path. And LDF file is this is the log data file, or called transaction data file. So where whenever you do inserts, updates, or deletes, all those details will be stored in this file. So let's look at the other parameters of these files. So we give create database and your database name, and the name of the file should be same as the name of the database underscore data, and for log file it will be the name of the database underscore log. It's up to you. You can give you can avoid this data and you can just give the log whichever way you want. So the here we give the file name path. The size defines the when we create the database initially, it will allocate 10 MB of data, and the max size is unlimited. So here we are saying whatever the storage that is available on the server, just allocate it. And the file growth is, so whenever the data reaches 10 MB, I mean once the storage is consumed, it will keep on creating 5 MB. So once 10 MB is done, it will create 5 MB. When this 5 MB is also completed, another 5 MB. So the file will grow, so it will keep on incrementing 5 MB of keep on allocating 5 MB of the storage. Same with the log table as log file as well. So here the initial size is 5 MB and the max size is 100 MB. So here we can define the max size also. That means we cannot go beyond 100 MB. So initially once the 5 MB is consumed, then allocate 2 MB. Once the 2 MB is consumed, allocate another 2 MB up to 100 MB. So this is the complete definition of the create database. Or we can simply say create database and database name. All these things will be taken care by system internally. We will see those how those things will come. So renaming the database. So this is the command: alter database, database name, and modify name equals to new name. So if you want to rename the database, this is the command that we use to rename. And if we want to drop the database, simple: drop database, database name. So we will talk about this command when we are doing the practical. So this is when we try to delete a database, and if it is in use, if somebody is using the database, then we have to use this command. So alter database, database name, single user, set single user with rollback immediate. What does it mean is just to give access to the single user, which is whoever is running this command, and rest of the transactions, if somebody or some application is using the database, it should roll back immediately. The whatever actions they are performing, that will be rolled back, and the database will only be available for the single user. After that, you can apply the drop database command and drop the database. So let's look at these things practically. Connected to SQL Server. So here, these are the four system databases that we discussed earlier: master, model, MSDB, and TempDB. Let's try to create a database, alter and drop a database graphically. First we will look at graphically. So for creating the database, you right click on the database, click on new databases. So here you give the name of the database, testdb. I'm giving testdb, and here you can see these are the two files that we discussed earlier. This is the MDF file and this is the log file. So by default, this is how SQL Server gives. So the initial size is 8 MB. After that, both of the files will get incremented by 64 MB, and this is the max size, unlimited. That means whatever the storage that is available on the systems, just use it. And here we give the path of the file names and all. So once you give the file name, just click OK, and the database got created. So if you want to rename the database, right click on the database, click rename. So I'm trying to rename test database as testing DB. So it got renamed. So to delete the database, right click on the database, click delete. So here you have one option: close existing connections. Like I mentioned, if this database, if somebody is connected to this database, or if some application is using this, if you check this option, then all those connections will be closed automatically, and you just need to click OK. Then the database will be deleted. You see it's deleted. It's good to know graphical user interface options, but in real projects, we never do these things. We always write a script. We always write a script and pass the scripts to the admin team to execute it in the production environment. So first we do development in the dev environment. After that we move it to QA. After that it will go to production. So all these things will be taken care by the admins, and we have to pass on the scripts to them. So we cannot use these graphical user interfaces in real projects. Let's see how to create a database. So create database, and the name I'm giving testdb. So here, for creating these commands, you can use uppercase or lowercase. It's up to you. So, and we can give the semicolon at each and every end of the each and every command. It's a good practice to give, but it's optional. So create database, database name, execute this command. So the database is created successfully. In order to see the database is created, we need to click on the database and click on refresh. You see the database is created. Now comment this function, comment this command. Now we'll see alter, rename the database, alter database, database name is testdb, modify name equals to, so instead of testdb I will simply call it testing db, and since this is commented, execute this one. So the database got renamed. Again go to database and click on refresh. Here you can see the database got renamed. Now open up a new query. Try to use this database. Click use testing DB. Go. So here what is happening is this particular database is in use. Now we come back and try to delete this database. Here drop database name and try to delete the database. It is trying to execute it. So here you see we cannot drop the database because it is currently in use. So we may get these kind of scenarios in real project. So at that time we will apply that command alter database name, set single user with rollback immediate. Once we execute this command, all other connections whoever is using or whichever application this command is this database is being used will be closed. So you see the transactions are being rolled back. Now you can select this command and execute it, and the command executed successfully. Go here, refresh and see. So the database is deleted. That's all for this video. See you in the next video. Thank you.